This video will walk you step by step through every action in the canon. The next video will focus on the prayers. This video is unbroken, so you can practice the entire canon without stopping. It's the longest video, but after this portion of the Mass, the rest is much shorter and easier. The canon is the most ancient part of the Mass and is prayed with the greatest care. All the prayers of the canon are read from the Missal and said in the quiet voice. After the consecration, you will genuflect before and after each time you touch the host and the chalice. Before the first prayer, elevate your hands and join them as you lift your eyes to the cross. Bow profoundly over the altar and rest your joined hands on the edge. After you are bowed, begin the Te Igitur. When you say, Supplices rogamus ac petimus, separate your hands and kiss the altar. Remember, your hands go outside the corporal. Then, stand up and join your hands while saying, Uti accepta habeas et benedicas. Then immediately place your left hand on the altar, and with your right hand make the sign of the cross 3 times over both the host and the chalice to the edges of the pall, as you say, Hec dona, hec munera, hec sancta sacrificia illibata. Then extend your hands in front of your chest for the remainder of the prayer. Make a head bow toward the Missal when you mention the name of the Pope. Insert the name of the local ordinary of the place where you are saying Mass. At the beginning of the second prayer of the canon, at the words, Memento Domine, famulorum famularumque tuarum, join your hands slowly as you elevate them and bow your head slightly, keeping your hands just below your face with your eyes closed. Do not say in et in, as it says in the Missal. Instead, take a moment to remember your prayer intentions. You can also say them in the quiet voice. After you spend a few moments in remembrance, separate your hands and hold them extended for the remainder of the prayer. Then pray the Communicantes prayer. There are 6 different Communicantes prayers, depending on the season of the year. There is a regular Communicantes and a special form for Christmas, Epiphany, Easter, Ascension, and Pentecost. Usually, these special seasons will be on a different page. The Communicantes is said with your hands extended as you make a head bow to the Missal at the name of Our Lady, and then a head bow to the cross at the Holy Name. If it's the feast day of any of the saints listed, make a head bow to the Missal at the mention of his name. Join your hands at the conclusion. Next is the Ankh Igitur. Extend your hands over the chalice with your palms face down, thumbs crossed, and the edges of the index fingers touching and extended to the middle of the pall. Keep them there for the entire prayer. If you're in the octaves of Easter and Pentecost, use their Ankh Igitur prayer. Otherwise, pray the regular one. At the conclusion, Per Christum Dominum Nostrum, Amen, fold your hands and join them at your chest. Begin the Quam Oblationem with your hands joined. When you say Quesimus, place your left hand outside the corporal. Then make 5 signs of the cross where indicated in the Missal. Make the first 3 signs of the cross over both the chalice and the host, to the edges of the pall. The third should be slower, so you may say all the words for the third sign of the cross. Then make the sign of the cross over just the host, and one over just the chalice. After the last sign of the cross, conclude by joining your hands and make a head bow to the cross at the Holy Name. As you begin the Quipridie, wipe the tips of your thumbs and forefingers of both hands near the edges of the corporal. At the words Accepit panem, use your left forefinger to take the host in the upper left, so you can tilt it into your right forefinger. That way you are holding the host at the bottom. Your hands should not rest on the corporal. Keep your other fingers extended and touching. At the words, Elevatis oculis in caelum, raise your eyes to the cross and then make a head bow as you say, Tibi gratias agens. When you say, Benedixit, make the sign of the cross over the host with your right hand, keeping all your fingers extended. Then bow profoundly over the altar. Rest your forearms against the edge of the altar, but keep both your hands above the corporal. Say the words of consecration in the quiet voice, so it's only heard by you. This moment, above all others, requires complete focus and devotion. Say each word distinctly, slower than any other part of the canon, but without any long pauses, without any exaggeration or mannerisms. Then stand up and rest your hands at the edge of the corporal. Genuflect while looking intently at the sacred host. Stand up, raise and elevate the host above your head, but keep it in a straight line above the corporal. A slow but continuous movement. Keep your eyes intently fixed upon the host, without prolonging the duration of the elevation. Lower the host and set it on the corporal in the center, and then with both hands resting inside the corporal, genuflect. From this moment forward, until your fingers are purified at the ablutions, do not separate your thumb and forefinger except to touch the sacred host. Hold your thumb and forefinger straight and held firmly together. This is to protect any sacred particles that might be on your thumb and forefinger of being unknowingly discarded. For the same reasons, every time you place your hand on the altar, set them inside the corporal. Immediately uncover the chalice and rub your thumb and forefinger over the cup to dislodge any particles of the sacred host as you begin the prayer simile modo. Take the chalice at the stem with both hands right over left, making sure to keep your thumb and forefinger joined. As you say, Accipiens et hunc preclarum calicem, elevate the chalice slightly above the corporal. Set the chalice down, keep your left hand on the stem, and at the words, Tibi gratias agens, make a head bow. At the word, Benedixit, make the sign of the cross over the chalice with your right hand. Then take the chalice with your right hand beneath the cup, lift it off the corporal, and move your left hand underneath the base as you finish the prayer, Accipite et bibite ex eo omnes. Now bow profoundly over the altar with your forearms resting on the edge and say the words of consecration in the same way as you did for the host. Then set down the chalice, rest your hands on the corporal, and genuflect as you say the words, Hec quotiescumque feceritis, in mei memoriam facietis. Rise, take the chalice with your right hand beneath the cup, and your left hand at the base, and elevate it in a straight line above the corporal. Remember to keep your thumb and forefinger together. Keep your eyes intent upon the chalice throughout the elevation. Then lower the chalice and set it on the corporal. Take the pall with your right hand and cover the chalice, keeping your left hand at the base to steady it. Then genuflect again. Most altar missals will have a page turn at this point. When turning the pages after the consecration, your right hand is placed on the corporal and your left hand turns the page, using only the third and fourth fingers. Then begin the Unde et Memores with your hands extended. When you say, De tuis donis ac datis, join your hands. Then place your left hand on the corporal. As you say, Hostiam puram, hostiam sanctam, hostiam immaculatam, make the sign of the cross 3 times over both the host and the chalice. Then one sign of the cross just over the host, as you say, Panem sanctum vitae aeterne, and once over just the chalice, as you say, Et calicem salutis perpetue. That's 3 times over the host and the chalice together, once over just the host, and once over just the chalice. Then immediately keep your hands extended for the next prayer, Supraque propitio. Before beginning the Supplices te rogamus, join your hands and bow profoundly, resting your joined hands on the edge of the altar. Remember to keep your thumb and forefinger joined. Pray like this for the first half of the prayer up until the word, quote, quote, when you kiss the altar. At, quote, quote, separate your hands and place them on the corporal and kiss the altar. As you say the next words, ex hac altaris participatione sacrosanctum filii tui, stand and join your hands. Then place your left hand on the corporal and make 3 signs of the cross, once over the host, as you say, corpus, and once over the chalice, as you say, et sanguinem sumserimus, and one on yourself while saying, omni benedictione celesti et gratia repleamur, with your left hand below your chest. Remember to keep your thumbs and forefingers together, so when you cross yourself, you are using your 3 extended fingers. Then join your hands for the conclusion of the prayer, Per iundum Christum Dominum Nostrum. When you begin the memento prayer, slowly extend your hands to the width of your shoulders, and then immediately join and elevate them to be level with your chin, bowing your head slightly. Say the entire first part of the remembrance for the dead, through the In Somno Pacis without any pauses. So, when you get to the phrase in et in, don't say it as written, but wait until the end of the prayer before making the remembrance. After you say In Somno Pacis, pause and make your remembrance while gazing at the sacred host. Remember those you want to pray for who have died, either mentally or by mentioning their names in the quiet voice. Then lift your head and return your hands to your shoulders and continue with Ipsis Domine. At the phrase Per iundum Christum Dominum Nostrum, join your hands and make a head bow to the sacred host. This is the only conclusion that you bow your head without mentioning the holy name. Lay your hand on the corporal and strike your breast with the 3 fingers of your right hand, while saying in the moderate voice, Nobis quoque peccatoribus. This is the only prayer in the canon that you pray in the moderate voice. As St. Albert said, the priest says, and to us sinners who intercede for others, when we ourselves have greater need of prayer. It also signifies those who return from the crucifixion, lamenting and striking their breasts. Immediately extend your hands and continue in the quiet voice. Remember, if you are celebrating the feast of one of these saints, make a head bow to the missal at the saint's name. Join your hands at the conclusion of the prayer. The canon ends with the great doxology, the great prayer of praise to the Holy Trinity. Begin the Per quem ec omnia with your hands joined. Then lay your left hand on the corporal, and as you say, Sanctificas, vivificas, benedicis et prestas nobis, make the sign of the cross 3 times over both the host and the chalice. Then place your left hand at the base of the chalice, uncover it with your right hand, and genuflect. Take the edge of the host in your right hand. It's helpful to use your left forefinger to gently press it so you can lift it easily. Then take the chalice stem with your left hand and make the sign of the cross over the chalice with the host 3 times, as you say, Per ipsum, et cum ipso, et in ipso. The signs of the cross go to the edges of the chalice, but without touching the chalice. Then, as you say, Est tibi Deo Patri omnipotenti in unitate Spiritus Sancti. Make 2 horizontal signs of the cross from the edge of the chalice to yourself. Make sure not to go beyond the edges of the corporal. The 3 signs of the cross that mention the body and blood of Christ are over the chalice of suffering. But the next 2, when you mention the Father and the Holy Ghost, take place apart from the chalice. The canon is almost complete. Many authors have written that this is the moment of Christ's final agony. While saying Omnis honor et gloria, hold the host over the chalice and elevate both a few inches off the corporal. Set the chalice down and lay the host on the center of the corporal. Purify your thumb and forefingers over the chalice. Place the pall on the chalice with your right hand. Remember to place your left at the base to steady it. And then genuflect. With both hands on the corporal, say in the loud voice, Per omnia saecula saeculorum. With these words, the silence of the canon has ended. And as St. Peter Damian says, because a great stone was rolled at the door of the tomb, the chalice is covered once more with the pall. Ending the silence with the loud voice indicates to all that the entire canon was one continuous Eucharistic prayer of blessing and consecration. Congratulations, you have practiced all the actions of the canon. The next video will allow you to hear all the prayers so you can practice the pronunciation.